the good occupation? Can there be a good occupation? What does this mean? Good for whom? The occupier or the occupied? How one answers the third question determines the answer to the first. For the occupier, a good occupation is that which engenders the least resistance. For the occupied, there can be no good occupation, for this inevitably excites nationalism against the foreign invaders, no matter who they may be. Americans used to know this when they were occupied by the British. Indeed, that anger led to the Third Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which forbids the quartering of troops in people's homes. And the Brits were white, mostly, English-speaking, Christian, and in many cases cousins to Americans. Imagine that. Apply that historical analogy to Iraq and Afghanistan, and the anti-occupation movements in those countries seems more reasonable. There can be no occupation that is good for both sides, for both sides have differing interests. That's why the Afghanistan occupation, in support of a corrupt puppet regime in Kabul, is a process doomed to failure. It can't help but excite nationalist resistance to foreign invasion. Afghanistan has successfully resisted invaders from Alexander the Great to the Soviet Union. The Brits invaded twice and were forced to leave twice. And now the U.S. envisions troop escalations to buttress the narcocracy of Hamid Karzai, who is more emir of Kabul than president of Afghanistan. And as American troop size increases, so does Afghan resistance, as shown by recent bold attacks on American positions. If history has taught us anything, it is that imperial occupations make more enemies than friends, and often leads to the economic, political, and military exhaustion of empire. From death row, this is Mumia Abu Jamal. These commentaries are recorded by Noel Hanrahan of Prison Radio.